So I work for the town of Franklin, Mass. I've had that job for about 11 years now. It's a great town to work for. We do a lot of progressive stuff. I can tell you a little about Franklin. We're a suburban bedroom community. Got about 34,000 people. We got 200 lane miles of road. All our drinking water comes from the groundwater, which is important for what we do. 160 miles of waterworks. But what we look at in Franklin, we can't just work on stormwater. We can't work on wastewater. We can't work on drinking water. We work on all three together. We're actually the largest groundwater producer in the state for a size town that we have. But under the permit regulation, 65 gallons or less, permit requires less than 10 accounted for water. And like I said, we couldn't meet fire demand or conservation. So implementation, we approach this in a different way. We start with public education. We start a water conservation program. So then we start repairing our distribution system. The council appropriated original $5 million, and we started spending that. And I'll get into a little more later what we do with that. And then basically, what we do is a new water line, new road program. If anybody deals with infrastructure, no one cares about the water pipe under the ground. All they want is a new road, okay? So when we go, we appropriate money, we use water funds to rebuild the road. And we don't just do the permanent patch down like a lot of communities, we build curb to curb. We supplement the other money through council appropriations or Chapter 90 money to do what do you call them? Sidewalks and curbing to supplement it. Depending on the road, that's how much money water funds we'll use. Then we start a leak detection program. Our permit says we have to do it every other year. We do it every year. And then we do a meter replacement and calibration program. So implementation, outdoor water use restriction. We only allow residents 1 day a week watering in the summertime, and that's on their trash day. Our permit's a little different. We get to start a little later, the first Monday in June, instead of May, and then it ends no sooner than the week of September. So this exceeds Mass DEP requirements and standards, and it reduces potential overwatering and running off issues. Leak detection I talked about, we exceed that. Since 2001, 750 leaks have been detected. We go out there now when we get leaks. I mean, they're just small stuff. Most of the stuff we're finding on people's services lines. So we walk the whole town once a year. Results, the water main replacement program. Our goal is to replace the entire water system within 80 years. Okay, we've done, since I've been there in 10 years, we've done 32 miles of water pipe. The old transite pipe, we got a lot of transite pipe, and we're doing a lot of cast, okay? That's a very, very aggressive program. Residents have been happy with the new roads. $5 million every 3 years, we just do another appropriation. We've also won the DP Public Water System Award in 2008 and 2013. But the other thing is we have increased water costs. So this shows our average daily pumpage. This is kind of a cool slide. Back in 2001, so as you can see the population growth, the population's gone up, but see our water use has gone way down through the years, what we've been doing. Unaccounted for water, we're almost at 15% back in 2004. We're down to obviously way below 10%. We're hovering around 5 or 6%. Annual cost for resident, we've gone up over 300% in 10 years. So our water costs a little more than MWRA right now. So now we'll talk a little about sewer. So once again, we're replacing Beaver Street Interceptor. We have one trunk line, that I'll show you in a minute, that carries almost 70% of our raw sewage. I&I, that's water sneaking in. Why sewer is so important to us? Because remember I told you we're a drinking water community? If our sewer pipes are leaking like this, they're acting like drain pipes. They're sucking the groundwater out of Franklin. Our goal is to keep all the water in Franklin. So by tightening up our sewer system, we're keeping the groundwater in town. And this is how I sell my stormwater stuff. And I get money for it. Implementation, once again, public education, promote low-flow fixture, restrict newer sewer extensions. We'd rather have people use Title V and recharge. Higher standards and package treatment plants. There's a lot of communities that have a deduct meter. We do not allow that. Implementation, lining and sealing program. We've done 32 miles of pipe, sealed 2,100 manholes, 600 inflow sources, and we've upgraded our SCADA system and repaired the Beaver Street Interceptor. Decreased daily flows, obviously infiltration rate, increased sewer costs similar to water that have gone up. But these are some real numbers. So our average daily flow in 2005 to 2013, we have a 14% reduction in that average daily flow. And that's not because our water use is going down. It's because we've tightened our pipes up. Average infiltration rate is now 28%. Peak inflow rate, obviously when we have high storms flooding, we're down almost 43%. The Charles River Pollution Control District, which is a sewer plant, which is in Medway, Franklin owns 80% of that. So obviously, if we're not sending all this water to the plant, the costs have gone down there. So we're saving money there also. But once again, it's gone up. The rates have gone up quite a bit. We did two 30% rate increases, but we did them over a 3-year period. Okay, now we get to stormwater. Stormwater regulator issues, protection of the Charles River Basin, phosphorus loading, bacteria, and TSS runoff. So what first thing was the phosphorus fertilizer ban. And we looked at stormwater utility. We looked at credits, which they do have now, banking, matching funds. So town options. We looked at a stormwater utility. We haven't done that yet. I think a stormwater utility is a smart thing. So we're doing road narrowing and sidewalk removals, new technology, porous asphalt, green roofs, permeable pavers, pass local bylaws, improve current system, and additional BMPs. So Franklin plan. Once again, I go back to it. Groundwater recharge, because we're a drinking water community. We need to get that water back in the ground. That's the best way for stormwater control. Okay, get the water in the ground, it gets recharged, the pollutants are taken out, particularly the phosphorus, the TSS is removed. Get the water back in the ground. Local bylaws require stormwater recharge for new construction projects and retrofits. And obviously encourage landscape design using native drought-tolerant plants. So implementation. My town engineer hates this, but every public works project has to have some sort of stormwater element in it. Whatever we do, roadway reconstruction, we remove sidewalks. I'm going to show you a lot of these. We narrow roadways, BMPs, rain gardens, tree wells, bioretention areas. Implementation, some of these are repeated. Public education, grants, working with other towns, working with environmental groups, BMPs, reduce impervious, and low impact development. So one of the first things I did is I reached out to Charles River Watershed Association, the enemy, right? They hated Franklin. But we have a great working relationship now. They came forward with this idea of the Charles River Building Blue Project. And what we did is we looked at basically a square mile of Franklin. There was a mixed-use type of thing. We had parks, we had some densely areas, we had some residential areas. And we focused on the Spruce Pond subbasin and what we could do and what it would cost to fix the stormwater controls there. So one of the opportunities they identified was the Parmenter School. It's a school, it's in town, it's on Wachusett Street. So they came up with these pretty slides. They're going to put little rain gardens in. See people walking, they're all happy. They see the rain gardens, they wave, public, you know. So I actually built them. They were horrified. No one had ever built anything that Charles River thought was a good idea. Because people throw out the stuff, but no one actually put the money behind it. So this is one of the first ones we did. This is on the same street. There's a ball field behind it. You can see how everything was a runoff there. They came up with their pretty plans again, and then we built it. And they liked it. And it actually works. The reason we did this, Wachusett Street, Parmenter School, we're redoing the roads. Like I said, when we're reconstructing stuff, that's when we do this stuff. It's cheaper, it makes sense, okay? We had a municipal property, roadways under construction. Most of this job was replaced to the water line replacement program, replaced a pipe out there. So Lockwood Drive, this is another example. A lot of communities, if you were built during the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they had stormwater controls, but it was for flood controls, okay? It wasn't necessarily for recharge area. So this one was a big subdivision, it was all overgrown. We went in, we looked at it, I got a 319 grant for it, and we reshaped it. And I also use DPW guys for this. So they go out there, we do it, they really like it. And the important thing is now they take ownership of it. If you ever work with anybody, they build it, they maintain it, they like it. They go out there. So they've taken a lot of pride in it instead of just driving around doing the Franklin 500 all day. They're actually out doing stuff. So, and this is another one. This we really started getting into subdivisions. This is Anchorage Road. Remove a sidewalk. Now see this up here? This is a cul-de-sac. By the way, Franklin has more cul-de-sacs. We have 248 cul-de-sacs. Okay, besides like this, there are also hammerheads that go together instead of going through the road, so they get more frontage, okay? More houses, and that's why they do it. Does anybody here plow snow? Does anybody like plowing cul-de-sacs? No, they're a pain. So anyways, the fire department will come up and say, oh, I want to get rid of the cul-de-sac. No, you can't do that. Or we want to narrow. A lot of them are 120 feet. We've reduced them down to 80, 85 feet. Why they want them so big? So they can turn the fire truck around. So we went up there, public information. People were all against this. No sidewalks, narrowing the roads. We said, okay, we listened to you. Then we did it. You got to be aggressive. It's our road. Because you're all in public service. You know you never make everybody happy. That's just the way it is. So you have to make a stand. You have to do it. So this is Anchorage Road. You show some of the pictures. You can see how much we narrowed the road down the bottom. Okay. The toughest thing about narrowing roads is the drainage, because you got to start moving this infrastructure underneath. So, and you don't want to do the bump out type stuff. So we were able to move them. A lot of times we look at them beforehand if the pipe's good under, so we just got to put new basins in. But, so down the bottom, that's the cul-de-sac we took out. That's how it was originally put in. So this is Bright Hill Estates. This is just one to show. This is another one. We took out one sidewalk. We reduced the road from 28 feet, or from 32 down. We're getting even narrower. But the thing I want to show you here, with this job, we reduced, 70,000 square feet of impervious area. So that's down here. This is right down the road. That's the gas station parking lot, the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, the King, and the Burger King. That's how much we reduced. The other thing that goes along with that, that's a lot less money I spent on paving roads that I can use elsewhere. That's a lot less future maintenance I have. The crack sealing, chip sealing, the overlay, the mill-in overlay, the full depth reconstruction. So this is the one we're doing right now. This is the Northgate neighborhood. And we're basically going to reduce 90,000 square feet, which basically shows the Franklin Town Hall parking lot and one of the school parking lots. So basically in asphalt alone, we saved $195,000. And this work hasn't been done yet. And that's just the asphalt cost. That doesn't, like I said, include the maintenance later on. And this is, once again, a selling thing that you got to tell the residents. Because when I go out, and I've had a bunch of neighborhood meetings out here. They go out there and they want to keep their sidewalk, they want to do this, they want to do that. But one thing I tell them, I said, I don't just work for you, I work for everybody in town. And any dollar I save here can be used for other work in town. So $200,000 can pave a lot of roads. It can fix a lot of stuff. And you got to get that across. The other thing is you have to have your council on board with this, or your selectman, or your town manager, because you can't be thrown on the bus. They got to match your message, and they have to be strong. Okay. Problem identified. Lincoln Street culvert. I said, you know what? The road's going to cave in if we don't take care of it right now. We reconstructed the culvert head wall. We put a new installation of sediment forebays, and we put deep sumps in along the road, which we didn't have before. So we made improvements there. P-Wood parking project, something downtown, high visibility. We designed our own rain gardens. It's all done in-house. We just created more stuff. Once again, visibility so people see it. Pine Circle, 2 cul-de-sacs, 500-foot cul-de-sacs, roads that were put in there. We moved the sidewalks. Kind of interesting. We went to these guys and said, hey, you know, we want to reduce the area. You want to put an island? They wanted to go with the island in the center of the thing. This is also done with DPW guys. We started putting water line in. I chose these type of neighborhoods because it's cheaper for my guys to do it. You got to go out and talk to the residents, say, hey, you know, DPW is going to be doing this. It's going to take longer than a general contractor. You may have to do other things during the summer, but they all bought off on it. So this is another one. This is Island Road. They did not want an island in the middle, probably because they're called Island Road. But so you can see how much we reduced the cul-de-sac here. I just thought of that one. So we brought it way back, and we put and this is right on the Charles River. This one. So we actually put storm scepters in there. They're expensive to put in, but we had to capture the water. We wanted to treat it. Going back to what you say before, it used to just be runoff, and now we put curbing in and capture and treat all the water. Greensfield Road construction. That's another one of those goofy cul-de-sac things you can see up in the right-hand corner. There's only one house on it, so we gave the guy a driveway. He asked if I was going to plow it. It's still town property. But see, a nice pretty rain garden, a dry riverbed. We make them look nice now. So it all works out pretty good. This one is 319 grants that we did for stormwater, and we paired this with a park and a public education. We've created 2 parks in Franklin. Down here, we had a condominium unit, or no unit, a complex on top of a hill that just drained right down into the Mine Brook. So we built these 2, that's on town property. We built these 2 things, right here, a big 4-bay and a recharge area right next to the police station. Because it used to be the town swimming hole, and we had all the land. We did that, we found it was a swimming hole, and then we decided to build a park there also. So we did a town park, it's called the Sculpture Park. You've been there, Amelia, you like it? It's nice, huh? Yeah. So you go around, you walk around, but we also do all the public education out there, and it worked out really well. It's very, very popular with the residents. But once again, trying to integrate things together, doing more than one thing at once. Once again, rain gardens, the public areas, the train stations, the parks, the schools, kind of talked about that. Another way I'm trying to sell impervious area is pavement reduction is through traffic calming. You can put up all the signs in the world. People do not pay attention to signs. People do not slow down. You make a road narrower, people have to slow down. They really do, just consciously. So this over by another school, we put these islands in here, reduce the impervious area, but it does slow people down. This is one we're putting a water line in now. You can see big expanse. This is another Charles River watershed one that they came up with. So we're going to go ahead and green the area. This is what we came up with. We call it the Franklin tree well. When there's nothing else to do, you can stick these in the ground. They're short money. If you ever see all these people that come to these really fancy tree well programs, okay, you got to tie into the drainage, you got to do this, costs lots of money, okay? This thing, we just came up with the idea. We take a 4-foot pipe, cut it in half, put it in the ground, put stone in it, put the growing media, and stick a tree in it, okay? There's no drain. It's either recharges to the ground. If it fills up during a heavy storm, it's way designed, it will fill up, and then if there's surcharge, just go back down the regular drain. But we're getting recharged. We've put like 60 of these through town. People walk on, they're like, what the hell is this thing? And we go, it's a tree well. But it's another opportunity to explain about stormwater. Because inside there, you're going to get your TSS, you're going to get the salts, you're going to get the oils, you're going to get everything falls off. And if we get some groundwater cheap recharge, it works. The thing you got to know about this, though, like those trees, they're never meant to last. I mean, they've lasted since we put in there, but eventually we just pull the tree out, clean it out, and put another tree back in. That'd be the idea behind it. And I use crab apples because it's my favorite tree, and they're very hardy. Rain garden grant. We build a lot of rain gardens. We got to do that to Charles River watershed. We have homeowners come in. We do stuff on Saturday. We show them how to build a rain garden, putting them at their house, getting the word out. They seem to like that. Grants just shows the whole list of grants. I told you got about $1 million through the years. And the good thing about Franklin, we get a lot of results. We get a lot of accolades. But my final thoughts, what I try to say is integrating various programs will save you money. Like I said, do it during reconstruction. Do it now. That's what we expect the contractors or developers to do. We're doing it as a town. We've been doing this for 10 years. And it's amazing. I put some of these slides together. We do maps for the city council and show them what we've done. You know, 1 year doesn't seem like much, but you do 10 years of this stuff, it starts to work. And I have to admit, through the program, EPA has listened. They're giving, credits for stuff that we've done. I think they're going back to 2005 or something, right, for credits that you've been doing. So you track this stuff. So that's going to help us with this permit or save money. You got to know the requirements and regulations. Obviously, all you people are here. You're figuring out, you know what's going on. But you got to take the message here with this permitting, with the water quality testing, and all this other stuff, and go back and talk to your bosses, whether it's your selectman, your director, whoever it is, because this stuff has come along. And you need to be able to talk about it. But most importantly, you need to be talking to your residents about it, because you're going to get questions about this stuff. And you need to be able to know what you're talking about. I talked about that. Public education. Anytime we can get out there, put a sign out there. You saw some of the signs that we make out. Highly visible areas, try to do that from stormwater, because people don't know stormwater. People know sewer, people know drinking water, but people do not know stormwater. It's a new catchphrase type thing. And then the other thing is create a value for different end users. Most people, the 25% of the world that thinks, pollution of the river and, Charles River watershed people, or even like myself, that this is an important thing to do, that's fine. They're on your side. So you guys try to sell the other 75%. The other 75%, you might be doing it because, it's traffic calming. They got little kids. You're going to slow them down. You have less impervious area. It might be saving money. Everybody likes to save money. This money I save here, I can use in another job. That's how you sell it, okay? Doing the right thing. But you have to be a salesman for this stuff because it's not going to come along. It's like anything else. You have to sell it. And you got to create value for it. That's it.